Hello. And we are live for the coffee run this morning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday for my friends in the land down under, and welcome to Monday afternoon or Monday evening for those of you over in the US, and I think it's the middle of the night nearly in the UK. Welcome. Just thought I would share with you a little bit about the happenings over on Ye Olde Clubhouse this morning. It was kind of fun. It was really nerve-wracking though. You guys, I gotta tell you, it was so funny to be in a different technology and things like that. Learning the lay of the land was really what my intention was about today. So I think one of the things that I thought was really kind of interesting is that, hey, hi Linda, how are you? Is that so many people, no matter where it is that you're showing up, we often will pretend. And I know it was very tempting just to kind of pretend that, I knew exactly what I was doing and that I wasn't at all hung up on on it being okay and epic and all this, that, and the other. But what was really funny, so I'll explain my my travels this morning. So I knew I was going live at 10 and I had a notification. I'd had a shower and worked out and then had a shower and all that sort of stuff. And I'd set an event up in there to go live at 10 that was the power of you, right? And being visible, which you guys know that this is the stuff that I talk about all the time and really passionate about. But this different medium was like, so I was getting ready and I had a notification pop up on my phone that Chris Howard was live. Now, for those of you that don't know or aren't familiar with Christopher Howard, he's a absolute legend and has been doing the most amazing things for decades in the wealth creation space, the personal power space, really helping people to become the best versions of themselves, build businesses that they love, all this kind of thing. And it was really fun because I saw this notification. I was like, oh, I'm going to jump in and just see what they're talking about, thinking and expecting that I was going to be a complete lurker and a stalker, which is what I've been doing in the other rooms that I've been kind of like dropping in on. And I was the only other one in there. So like next minute, I'm having this conversation with Chris, which was really fun. I haven't spoken to him for a couple of years. So it was kind of cool to catch up. And then I got off there and then I ran our own room. But what I thought was kind of interesting was, the thing that I find really, really frustrating and I think what a lot of people find really frustrating is that we see these people out there who have these great ideas, right? And they're like, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. And they cut through the noise and they really stand out because they're doing something different. It could be their profile image that captures, and this is on any platform. This isn't just on Clubhouse, but on any platform. And what I think is really kind of cool about this is that, you've got these leaders who are out there, they're doing their thing, but then it creates this flood of everybody else doing the same. And one of the things that stood out for me, one of the ways that this stood out for me over the past few years is, do you remember going back maybe 5 years ago where all of the accents were marble and gold and pastel pink and, real stylized type of desks and stuff like that. And, when it first started to come out, it was really cool, but then everybody's branding and I ended up having an element of marble in my branding back in a previous life. But one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting is that everybody jumps on board this thing that is different, which then makes you blend in to everybody else, right? You can't be the same and stand out at the same time. It doesn't, it's an oxymoron. It doesn't add up. It doesn't work. And what I thought was really kind of curious is that in our newsfeed, I think, if we look at Facebook or Instagram, we've got milliseconds to capture people visually, right? Most people are scrolling and there is so much content that our eyeballs are being really kind of quick to discern what we're going to look at and who we're going to listen to. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Yeah, kind of like an Art Deco kind of vibe. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was everywhere. I've got a branding shoot where I'm sitting on a marble bench type thing, so it was everywhere. But I guess like the thing to me is that on Clubhouse, the best way for those of you who aren't on there, let me give it it kind of feels a bit like talkback radio, right? In the sense that there's all of these people talking and you can kind of put your hand up to speak, and then they can bring you onto the stage and you can jam with the speakers and stuff like that. But it's like on Clubhouse, the stalking that I've been doing, self-confessed stalker, the stalking that I've been doing, I give the people speaking maybe 20 seconds for me to feel like I'm kind of captured, that I want to listen, that I want to spend my time listening to what they have to say before I click that little, there's these little fingers that are like this, leave quietly. It's kind of like peace out. Quietly just, back away and leave the room. And I think what this has really highlighted to me, observing my behavior and other people that I've spoken to have said very similar things, that it's we've got a much shorter, it feels like, period of time to capture people, and particularly because it's audio. Right? So if you're changing the channel look at me go. It's usually this in your car, right? These days, you press a button to scan the channels. We don't turn the dial to try and we press a button to tune. So you press your button and it's yeah, that's classical music, not interested. Yeah, let's go. Oh, look, that's for me, it's Triple J, quick, change the channel. I'm not interested. Find me the top 40. I'm down with that. That's great. That's the kind of music that I'll listen to in the car if I'm listening to the radio. It's I want to listen to the top 40. I want to listen to the classics, which is these days it's the 70s and 80s rock, where it used to be 50s and 60s. Feeling a bit old today. So that's the way that I would do it, right? I would flick the channel until I found something that was pleasant and pleasing to my ears. And I feel like this is the sort of same thing that's happening with Clubhouse, but the difference is that rather than waiting, I guess, for, call the party line and then you dial in, or the competition line or whatever, you can call into the radio station. You can drop into the room whenever you like, and you can be unmuted and you can have a conversation with people. And it's really interesting. But I think one of the things that Chris and I were talking about that I thought was really interesting is how, on a visual medium, like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, we can use a lot of imagery to show the different sides of us, right? So yesterday I posted up a photo of my dinner, which was absolutely delightful. Curried cauliflower soup, vegan. Oh my God, it was amazing. Although I feel like I'm killing everybody with garlic breath today. It was really yummy. Lucky this isn't smell-o-vision, right? Because otherwise you might be dead. But what I think is really kind of cool about it is that we've got this opportunity to use different parts of us. And one of the things that I teach and talk a lot about is the power of the disco ball. So that's where we share our lifestyle imagery. We share some insights into behind the scenes. We share some photos of our lifestyle, of what we're doing. And the reason that this is so important to me is that if I'm looking at working with a mentor, I want to know, without them telling me, I want to know, and in any realm of my life, whether it's health or business or whatever, money, I want to know that they share similar or the same values as me. I don't only want a one-dimensional or two-dimensional view of that person. I want to feel connected, right? And so for me, I know not everybody is driven by that, but I know I am. And typically, if I'm going to work with someone, if I'm going to pay them like a lot of money a year to work with them as a client, then I want to know that I'm going to be able to have fun with them, that I'm going to be able to learn from them, that they're not going to be someone who is shoving down my throat that you've got to hustle all the time. I'm happy to hustle when we need a hustle, but I don't want to hustle 24/7. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Fuck, I own the shirt. I own the t-shirt factory of the hustle shirt factory. I'm happy to hustle when I need to, but not as an ongoing thing. For me, it doesn't work. I have 3 children. I am married. I am the president of my roller derby league. You know, I've got other things going on in my life that are really important to me, and I don't want to spend 23 hours a day, you know, hustling to make a buck. It's just not, I'm just not into that. And so for me, when I'm observing mentors and I'm looking at their behaviors and I'm looking at what they're sharing about their life, about their world, about their philosophies, about what their clients are doing, you know, if they're sharing photos and imagery about their holidays, if they're sharing photos of their children, stuff like that makes me feel like, they get me. So I was interviewed on Clubhouse last week by Glenn Lundy. And if you're over in Clubhouse, follow him. He's a really, really great guy based in Kentucky in the US, and really kind of just a really awesome guy. And what I had done before going live, because I wasn't quite sure how this interview was going to go, I was like, all right, I'm going to go and have a look at him on Facebook and kind of suss him out, you know. So I did that stalking thing again. It's been a bit prevalent today, the stalking. And I sent him a friend request and then I went and stalked his page. But I was having a look at some of the stuff, and it turned out that he's got 6 children, 6 girls, I believe. And I was just like, wow, like that's amazing for you to be doing what you're doing, and you've got 6 kids. And there was a photo of his wife and their baby. It's like, wow, this is like this I get this guy, you know. And what that helped me with is like when I got on the interview, I felt like we already had common ground, right? I felt like when I mentioned about being married and having 3 children and, you know, building this business in the middle of nowhere, that there was some common ground there, and that he would get me and that I could get him. And that makes creating rapport so much easier. So when we're going and we're posting stuff online about like things in our disco ball. So the disco ball metaphor is, if you imagine that we've got a disco ball, right? And there's all of the mirrors on the disco ball, and each mirror or each facet of that disco ball is a different part of you. So I play roller derby, I've got 3 children, I love camping, I love traveling, I love first class traveling, I really love Kmart, I love Louis Vuitton, I love Chanel, you know, I love Van Halen, I love the top 40. You know, there's lots of different things that I like. I'm 95% vegan, I still eat chocolate on my cheat days, you know, stuff like that, right? So the reason that this stuff is important is, and I've got 3 kids and, you know, is that it helps people to kind of go, oh, I've got children too. Oh, I like this as well. Oh, health is obviously something that's important, because I post photos of working out, or I'll post photos of my husband and I, you know, walking down the river. You know, my relationship is really important to me. I'll put photos of my kids because, you know, it's a big part of my world, that kind of thing. So it shows a multi-dimensional view of who you are that can help create rapport and common ground with your audience. It's not about going and posting shit up because it's nice for your ego, right? It's like, I don't post photos of me because I want all of the people going, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not that. It's I'm putting photos up always to demonstrate something. And that is that there's more to me than just the business, although that is a huge part of my world. So when we're looking at authenticity, then, you know, we've got these short snaps of time to create a pattern interrupt in people, which is to have them stopping in their tracks, watching and listening to you. On Clubhouse, it's only listening. You want to use your profile photo strategically. You want to make sure that you are being the best damn version of you, no matter how it is that you're showing up, no matter where it is that you're showing up. And that's really about being the best, most authentic version of you. Now, for me, the way that plays in is that when you know your stuff and you are so rock solid in who you are, what you're about, what you want to do, who you serve, and the way that you want to do that, then it creates a sense of certainty, right? Now, it's that sense of confidence that then breeds into certainty, that then creates that magnetism with how you're positioning yourself, how you're showing up, what you're doing. And I think this is the most overlooked and underrated thing, actually, in the world of marketing as it is today, because people think that it's about the branding. People think that it's about the color scheme. People think that it's about whatever. But when I know that you've all been in a room where, and it could be when you've been out at dinner, it could be at a networking event, and I want you to imagine that you're kind of like having a conversation with someone and you're interested, but you're not fully, you know those conversations where you're like fully engaged and you're just like, yes, and there's this really cool back and forth. So imagine that you're not in one of those conversations, right? And you're chatting to someone, but then there's some movement that catches your eye over here, and you turn and look and you see someone over the other side of the room, and you're just like, oh, wow, who is that? They're amazing. And you can see them starting to talk to somebody else, and you're just kind of like drawn, like moth to the flame. You can't not look. You can't look away. You feel like you're staring and you're like, this is really freaking awkward. And it's not that, they've got this vibe, right? It's this magnetism that they invoke. And that is someone who is really 99.9% of the time, that's because you've observed someone who is so certain in themselves and so confident that the magnetism, that level of attraction is so just kind of like radiating out of them that you can't help but go, oh, wow, I want to go meet that person, right? In a world where everybody is trying to stand out, we're all jostling for attention, but everybody's really afraid of that as well, because particularly in Australia, I spoke about this the other day, we've got the freaking tall poppy syndrome where, everybody is like really scared of being brought down because, don't get too big for your boots, but, all of that stuff. Hey, Janine, how are you? It can make it really hard. We can get a bit gun shy. But the thing is that I read a quote yesterday or this morning saying being broke is hard and working hard is hard, right? Being successful is hard. You choose your hard. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Now, yes, it might be hard initially for you to get out there and completely be you because, you're bearing your soul to the world, right? You're showing up. You're basically, the way that I kind of think about it is we're getting up on a stage and you're walking to the end of the stage and you're kind of like, in that movie, This Is Me. What is that movie? You guys know the movie. I can't think of it. Had Hugh Jackman in it. Justin Bieber was in it. Justin Bieber? Was Bieber? No, not Justin Bieber. Zac Efron. I can't think of it. Anyway, you guys know the movie. Walking into the end of the stage and then like kind of like opening up your arms, the song, and it's like, this is me, right? That requires the most insane amount of courage, but only like 20 seconds of insane courage, right? Because once you've done it, that's the hard thing. And it's like, okay, right, now that's it, Janine, the greatest showman. Thank you. I couldn't think of I could see it all in my head and I couldn't think of the movie. So, that's the hardest part, is taking that first step. because, you know, we don't know, it's all unknown. It's like me on Clubhouse this morning. I said, as soon as we've opened up, I'm like, all right, you guys. And then Chris Howard jumped in. I'm like, oh, fuck. Yay, I'm so excited to talk to him again. And, you know, oh, shit, feel like an idiot. And then another guy jumped in who I'm in a room with in the next couple of days, Randy, who we were chatting. And I just said, look, you guys, before we start out, I need to let you know that I'm a bit scared about all of this. I don't know how to drive Clubhouse. I don't know what I'm doing. I can talk till the cows come home. I have a million words to say. I have a million opinions about many, many, many things. But at the end of the day, I was like, the thing that was unfamiliar for me was, how do I moderate this room? What happens if everybody starts speaking? What if I get a heckler? You know, it was like all of this sort of bullshit. But I was like, right, well, this is me, you guys. I haven't done this before. Let's learn it together. Oh, yay. Thank you for being part of my experiment type scenario. And you know what? It was great. We went for half an hour chatting about authenticity, chatting about the importance of this. But what I noticed was that there were people dropping into the room. And I know that this happens with live streams. And I know this happens with podcasts. And I know this happens with all of those other audio modalities, is that people will drop in and they're kind of like, yeah, this isn't for me, that's fine. And then out they go. So I saw all these people kind of coming in. I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? You know, if you want to chat, let's chat. Nobody wanted to. It was so interesting except for me, Chris and Randy. And so we were chatting and it was great. It was fantastic. And the thing is that we've only got, though, about, no matter what platforms you're on, you've only got like milliseconds, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, not long at all, in order to make a first impression. The data shows that a first impression in person is made in 7 seconds. So let's just count that for a second. Are we ready? Right, listen up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a really long time, right? So 7 seconds feels like a long time if you're in person and you're looking at that, you know, that visual that I gave you before, where you're looking at that person over the other side of the room and you're like, that person is awesome, I want to go and talk to them. You know, who are they? What are they all about? Like, they seem really, like, what is it about them? And you can kind of feel their energy. That happens in a hell of a lot less than 7 seconds. It happens in milliseconds. Online, we've got like that 7 second period. If somebody is jumping in and having a listen to you, or reading your content, or looking at your blog, or checking out a photo, or killing time, you know, you're only 1, 2, like, think about that, the rate in which you swipe your feed and how quickly you flick through, because I'm about like this, 1, 2. So I've got like, you guys have got like 2 seconds to capture me. 2 seconds. That's it. So if we're looking at capturing people within the space of 2 seconds, then I think you've got, maybe once you've captured their attention, I reckon you've maybe got then 10 seconds to retain their attention. So how are you going to do that? And I think this is something that you guys have really got to start thinking about a lot more strategically, because the online world is only going to get noisier. It's only going to get more competitive. If anything, we learned anything from last year, it's about the importance of doing things online. It's about the importance of standing out. It's about the importance of having a way to drive conversations, drive money, drive interest, drive connections, you know, all of this kind of thing. You've got to be doing this more and more online. We can't rely on doing things in person as much as I would love that. So make sure that you're using all of the beautiful things about you, the most badassest things about you, which are your personality, your style, the way that you show up, your knowledge, your wit, your humor, everything in how you are and who you are. You've really got to get better and become a master of capturing people's attention in that space of 2 seconds, and then retaining it in that next 10 seconds, because then they'll hang in, right? They generally will sit and listen to you for an extended period of time. And from there, what happens is that they see another notification that you're showing up in a feed, or that you've got another post up, or you've got another audio going live, or whatever it is, something else comes up and they remember you. People who are unmemorable will not be remembered. Right? If you're trying to fake it till you make it, and you're trying to be someone that you're not, and you're not leading from that place of really being you, owning you, being who you are. Yes, I'm using that word authenticity again. You know, the risk that you run is that you'll just be forgotten. And then somebody else will pop up in their newsfeed and they'll buy from them, or they'll sign up with them, or they'll enroll with them, or whatever it is that you're doing. So make sure you're using your God-given talents, which is the fact that you are you and your awesome and amazing personality. You know, that is really what you want to be leveraging in the world of online today, regardless of the platform that you're on. So that is what I wanted to talk to you about today. So we will be going into Clubhouse on Thursday morning. I'm having a chat with a couple of Americans, which will be a whole ton of fun at 11:30 on Wednesday. So if you're around, Thursday our time, Wednesday their time. If you're around, it's in the schedule in Clubhouse. If you need an invite to Clubhouse, let me know. I've just been given 4 more, which is so much fun. So let me know, and you know what you need to do. You need to get yourself out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. But most of all, remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesome. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you tomorrow, if not before. Bye.